Hi, my name is Russell Lindeman. I'm 16 years old. I'm a sophomore in high school from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm applying for the musical theater track at Grammy Camp New York 2026. I could talk about why I want to be a part of camp for over an hour, but I'll try and keep it concise since I'm limited to 5 minutes. I would say a huge part of it for me is I've only ever gone to an all-boys school, which is most definitely an environment which frowns upon theater and performance. And I see Grammy Camp as a place where I can be in an environment which supports and encourages my passion, rather than dismisses it as something inferior to other programs or professions. But also, the joy I experience in performing, as well as, the feeling I get when I see joy in others as a result of my performance, is immeasurable. And Grammy Camp's not only going to allow me to, get better at experiencing that connection, but it's also going to allow me to experience that feeling which I love as a career, which to me is out of this world. As for my creative identity, I would say my identity is rooted in using the acting and the singing and the dancing to tell as impactful of a story as I can to the audience. I would say I'm drawn to theater by the way it combines countless art forms into this one beautiful expression of creativity. Although I would say nothing has contributed more to my identity than my surroundings and where I've grown up. Having grown up in Memphis, I've learned that music, especially the music in Memphis, it's not based on perfection. It's based on, the emotions, the truths, the vulnerability expressed in the music, and the storytelling which listeners can relate to. And that storytelling aspect is so relevant in theater, and I think Memphis's influence shows in my work. I thrive in roles with high vulnerability that connect to the audience through storytelling. As for my experience, I think the biggest thing for me is that I started early. I joined community theater when I was 6, starting in small kids roles like Tiny Tim or Chip in Beauty and the Beast, and I've continued to be a part of it to this day. It's just such a great community. Also, one of the greatest decisions of my life is to have gotten involved with high school theater, just because of how tight-knit and wonderful the people are. My most recent roles are Percy Jackson in The Lightning Thief and Orpheus in Hadestown. I could do a whole separate video on Hadestown. It's such a great experience. As for singing, I have been singing since as long as I can remember. Whenever there was an opportunity to perform in my childhood, I was the first to sign up. It's just what I love to do, and I knew then and I know now it's what I'm going to pursue. When I was 12, I joined the School of Rock program, which gives me the opportunity to perform throughout Memphis. And when I came to my school, which I'm at now, I joined our a cappella choir, which goes to a national choir competition every year. And I think we're coming back to New York this year, actually. But along with being lucky enough to be a part of 3 gold-winning ensembles, I've been lucky enough to win a Maestro Soloist Award at each of the competitions, which is something I hope to continue this year. We're going for the 4-peat. As for dancing, while it's most definitely my least experience of the 3, I definitely enjoy it just as much, if not more than the other 2. I've taken several classes from several choreographers throughout Memphis, and each one helps in their own way. I was also lucky enough to go to a Broadway dance workshop when I was in New York last April, which used the choreography from Wicked, which was so eye-opening. Oh, the cohort growth. Oh, I love this question. So I mentioned earlier that I've done community theater and high school theater, but I'm a perfectionist, and I see Grammy Camp as a place where I can thrive with people who have the same high expectations of themselves as I do. Also, I mentioned earlier that I've only gone to all-boys schools, which means that my opportunities to discuss my interests in an academic setting have been so limited. So by going to Grammy Camp, I can learn in a place where I can talk about my passion with people who share the same interests, and thereby, gain viewpoints on things that I've never heard before, and also be exposed to new ways of learning that I've never seen before. As for my short-term goals, I would say I want to become a better all-around performer through the insights I'll gain from people in the industry. And that's not just to, get better roles in shows. That's to gain valuable experience and insight, and hopefully later on get accepted to some collegiate musical theater programs so I can continue my journey. Also, I just look forward to being able to immerse myself in the lifestyle of a performer in New York, because being from the South, that's something that's totally foreign to me. For my long-term goals, I'm 16 years old, and there's no doubt in my mind that what I want to do is act. And, the feeling I experience from acting and performing is unmatched, and I hope to pursue it in my life as long as I can. This is corny, but I think Shakespeare said it best when he said, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players." Grammy Camp's not only going to help me as a performer, but it's going to help me achieve my dream of acting as a career. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing back.